The WNBA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog. Hooking up new customers, play just $5. Get $100 in bonus funds when you sign up with promo code NBA SGPN. Yes, sir. We are back with another edition of the WNBA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. No me, no voice, no guys. Me, really raw, Villarreal, Terrell, Furman Jr. here at your service. All right, catch the lock, miss the dog. Feels like that's kind of similar. I feel like that's been happening a lot recently. I just don't know. Like when she just goes out and she's literally not putting any effort into her appearance at all, why people are even like trying? Why you even try? So cash that dog. Yeah, no, listen, ain't get no rebounds. It is what it is, whatever. But now it's no longer the two best words in WNBA. It was for a good amount of time. It was the two best words in WNBA. However, this year in the finals, we get another two words. However, these are cool. Game 5. Scott's to your Reichel. Scott, what's going on? Oh, I don't know, Scott. Oh, there we go.
Scotty, beat me up.
Surprise.
Yeah, we have a Game 5 coming up, so it should be fun. Of course, it's a series that we thought might be a bit lopsided, and it hasn't been. So props to the Fever for surviving. We saw Leah Boston. Welcome to the series. She had a great game in Game 4. And, yeah, we saw the Fever pull it off. So nice job by them. Now we end up going back to Vegas for Game 5. Seattle was right there in Game 3. We'll see if Indiana can maybe find a way to steal a road elimination game. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. Great coach job by Steph White in that game. Also, I hate to throw any salt on the wound or, instigate, but I will. The same playoff crew that had the debacle of the Mercury and Lynx and got Cheryl Reeve ejected, and she was suspended for her comments. They were the same crew that worked the game for, Indiana Fever and the Las Vegas Aces. And Becky also. Now, Steph White had comments, but Becky's comments were more damning than Steph White's comments. I will say that. They both were in support of Cheryl Reeve. But it felt like Becky, you know how Becky do. Like Becky get to talking and she feel how she feel, and if it's on her spirit, she say it. And so that same crew, the same crew in that game, just interesting. We're probably going to see that crew again in the finals. So gonna have to consider that depending on who the teams are in there and how those people are feeling, because that ref crew right now catching a lot of heat. All right. This question will be a great way to talk about the recap from the other game, because the Phoenix Mercury, for the first time since 2021, have made the WNBA Finals. Adam Osimo asking in chat, he's got a 25-1 ticket for the Mercury to win the title. He's conservative in nature, though, and he wants to cash out, but he wanted to get our opinions first. Can the Mercury win the championship? First question is, what is your cash out option? Or like a percent, or at least give like a percentage of like how much percent of your winning bet is the cash out right now? Something like that. Because my first thought is, instead of cashing out, if you're one of those folks, you might want to just go ahead and wait and see who actually makes the finals. Because, oh God, let the impossible happen, Scott. And then Indiana Fever make the WNBA Finals. He's gonna have a crazy favorite ticket that, like, you're gonna feel really good at 25-1. You might not even want to hedge that.
Well, I was going to say, it also depends on, of course, how confident you feel, as you mentioned, if the Mercury hypothetically took on the Fever. because right now you can get the Aces at plus 115. So if you wanted to go for a hedge, assuming the Aces would beat the Mercury and the Mercury would beat the Fever, and you don't see much of a path for Indiana to win against the Mercury, then you might want to take the Aces to win the title before tonight's game because you're getting plus 115, and they would be favored in the final series. Is that a fair breakdown there?
Yeah. You know me. I just be.
I didn't say I would be hedging. I didn't say I would be hedging.
No. But we a man of the people, and if we've got people that are gardeners. Like everybody has different professions. We're sports betting analysts. We have gardeners. We have a lot of things. There. People that do everything. So if you want to hedge, I'm never one to shame people for hedging. I just don't do it.
Yeah, it's money. If you want the money and you can try to find ways to guarantee profit, I understand it.
Yeah.
But I do think it comes down to how confident, Adam, you feel in the Mercury beating the Fever.
I tell you somebody who's not hedging.
I know somebody who's not hedging. Yeah.
Who's Stan?
Yeah. He's not. He's invested.
Who's Stan is all the way locked into the Aces.
His eyes are glued to the TV.
Hey,
here.
man. Yo, Shot TV, Mr. Shot TV, shout to my guy. Hope you're doing good over there. Mobile, Alabama, Scott. It's from Mobile, Alabama.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
But
it's
Adam,
South Alabama.
Cool. Shout out to the Jaguars. I do want to point out that, Adam, if you think the Fever that was a South Alabama Jaguars reference.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Just making sure. All right, cool.
I know. Come on, man.
Just making sure. Adam, look, at the end of the day, the Aces are plus 115 entering because they have to win the game tonight. If they lose, slim chance, but still, then of course they're eliminated. What do you think a hypothetical line would be Aces versus Mercury? Because I'm assuming the Aces would be favored. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure how big of a favorite. 140? 150?
What are they to win the title right now?
Right now they're plus 115 because they have to play an extra game.
Because
there is a chance they could lose
I think before that they were like minus 115. So I don't think that there's a large favorite between the Aces and
the Mercury. I don't either, but I think the Aces
it's like minus. Yeah, I think it may be minus 130 money line. Like not even minus 130 money line, minus 140. If minus 150 feels like it'd be too much. Like somewhere around there.
The point is, if you really wanted to, you probably could wait Game 5 out and then just
you could.
You could if you want to, but if you want to go get greedy and you think,
we haven't talked about the game yet, but spoiler alert. I think you're probably better taking the plus 115 right now if you're in that situation.
That's how I feel. So, yeah.
All right. Let's get into it, man.
Actually, before we get into the game, though, I do want to at least dive a bit more into the Mercury actually winning their series because I feel like we should talk about it.
It was no fee. It was no Cheryl. It was the prototypical Eric Tebow game that we talked about where they get up really, really big in the first half. They're really competitive in the first half. The game got a lot closer towards the end of the half, but then they extended that lead, and they just got completely destroyed in the fourth quarter.
31-13.
Yeah, it's a mess. And Eric Tebow, that's literally why he got fired from Washington. So, I get that we kind of had the angle of the Minnesota Lynx getting up, kind of making that game close, potentially getting the win. I like the points because I thought there was a chance that, they would just blow the game because that's what
we were right on the read. McBride had 30+. Courtney was great. They were up. It looked like we were actually going to head to a game 5.
This is what ET does.
Yeah,
this is what he does. He gets your team up, and then he blows the game at the end, and that's why he's no longer a head coach. And but as much as I love him, I do. But, that's what he is. And so tough stuff. It went exactly how his games go. He had the early lead, and in the end of the second half, he blew it, as always.
Yeah, pretty much. But at the end of the day, I think that the Mercury making it, of course, is a great story. But I wanted to kind of touch upon the Lynx for a second because it's such a weird elimination because you had no coach. You lost your best player. You traded for Carrington, who barely played. It's a pretty weird season to analyze if you are trying to actually keep tabs on what exactly unfolded for the Lynx, because they were so good all season. They were dominant the entire way through. They even swept the first-round series against Golden State. And then next thing you know, you're getting eliminated as your coach isn't there on the sidelines. You're missing your best player. And on top of that, the main trade piece you made barely played. What?
You see that? See all of that? It's bulletin board material for next year. Bulletin board material for next year. Oh, man.
That was going to be my segue, though, is if you're the Lynx, do you do anything different? You just run it back and say, our healthy squad is good enough to beat anybody. We just have to be healthy for once.
No, I mean, so you're already going to have issues because you can only save 6. So, the best of teams this year are going to have issues because each team is losing at least, maybe not. Well, maybe not. Let's not say at least. But they could lose 2 major depth pieces on each team.
You think Heidemann goes to Toronto?
I mean, like, if Portland, first of all, I don't think that, no, I don't think that's possible. I think they save Heidemann. If I was the Minnesota Lynx, I would be saving, hold on, let me pull up the roster real quick.
I figured it would just be the starting 5 in Carrington.
No, I would save Heidemann over Carrington.
Okay.
And just like we took the chance to go chase the title and trade for her, but like it's over now. And Heidemann's a better player. Like maybe not a better defender, but the fit is way better. And I'm not breaking up that core. Like no way I'm breaking up that core. So I would definitely keep Heidemann and leave Dejanay out there. So yeah, McBride, Collier, Courtney Williams, Heidemann, Smith.
You still have Carlton on there.
And so maybe they say, okay, we could do without Bridget Carlton. Maybe. Because Kliandakova played really, really well. So, like, I could see that. And then they keep Dejanay that way. And you leave Bridget. That actually makes a little bit more sense.
I just wanted to bring it up because as a reminder, we have 2 expansion drafts. So you're going to see a decent amount of shuffling for, let's say, players.
It's going to be horrible.
That's why I'm saying the Lynx. We still think they can get back, right? I mean, we're not going to write.
I'm more than likely going to have a bet to win the title next year.
Just making sure we agree.
Yeah, but I'm just saying it's not going to be as easy because everybody's going to be going through it because 2 depth pieces, like 7 and 8. That's a big contribution, especially for the Mercury. Let's talk about teams in the finals and the Mercury who are playing great team basketball right now. And they they're keeping their star 3 with the big 3, but then you got Sammy, then you got Akot McConney, then you got Westbelt, then you got Natasha Mack, then you got Lask who's played well for them, then you got Held who played well for them.
I'm assuming for health reasons, I'll guess that Mack will not be protected. If I had to guess. I
don't know. The rebounding that she gets.
I know. But it's going to be tough decisions, and the fact is she does have some injury history.
So like it's hard decisions all over the league.
Yeah,
believe it or not, even the bottom teams in the league got a hard decision to make of who they're going to keep and who they're going to let Toronto and Portland steal. And that's why I say Toronto and Portland, rough go at it coming in at the same time. Really rough go at it.
And once again, I wanted to congratulate the Mercury. We're going to save our congrats to them, of course, when we preview the finals because they're still going to be playing. But I wanted to mention Minnesota because you can argue the season, despite being such an incredible ride, ended in a colossal failure. And yet it's such a weird spot when you have no best player, no coach, and you just lose in the semifinals. It's such a very odd set of circumstances. I just wanted to mention.
Yeah. Jessica Shepard is going to turn into a star. That's another thing. They have to say the only reason they would have to save Jessica Shepard is because they know she's getting poached if they don't. And they really do need her size. But they got Dorka coming back. And that's going to be another one. What if they steal Dorka? Because Dorka had that year off. And man, if this Lynx team had Dorka who could spread the floor right now, yo, it's so many options for the Lynx. Yeah. Like you're getting 2 real good players, whoever you steal from the Lynx.
That's why I was kind of focusing on Minnesota because, of course, Mercury. We'll talk about them later on this week. For Minnesota, they're in such a weird spot with the expansion drafts too. So wanted to mention that. But anyway, we can just move on to Game 5.
Yep. MyBookie.ag, your place to bet every single sport, including NFL, college football, and the WNBA. NBA is right around the corner. Their motto is bet on anything, anywhere, anytime. Easy deposit and get lightning fast payouts using cryptocurrency. Head over to mybookie.ag, promo code SGPN for 100% bet back bonus up to $500. for new customers. That is mybookie.ag, promo code SGPN. We're also brought to you by Novig. Novig is America's #1 sports prediction market. Since Novig is in exchange, you're getting some of the best prices on the market. Novig is available in 35 plus states. Download the Novig app and get $50 when you spend $5 when you use our promo code SGPN. Get in on the action with Novig. You could probably get some of these lines we're talking about way better on Novig because there's somebody that's just crazy on the other side of it. So go get in on the action. Novig, promo code SGPN. Yeah, the links do have a lottery pick too. It's crazy. Mm-hmm. The rich get richer. But I'm pretty sure the expansion draft is before. The expansion draft is before the WNBA draft. But man, the
point is that they might be able to repair some of the damage with a first round pick.
Imagine if they get like Lauren Betts, like somebody crazy. It'd be insane.
I'm assuming Betts is going. Well, now we know, of course, Juju's going to miss the season, so that throws a wrinkle into some things. But
I mean, we knew even if Juju plays, she wasn't coming out this year. She's gonna do what Paige did, sit out a season. She's gonna
probably
play next year, then she's gonna come out.
I'm assuming Betts is the projected #1 pick, so we'll see what happens. But who knows?
Yeah. I think she might be actually.
Yeah.
Okay, here we are.
Game 5.
Dude, how did we get here? All right, Las Vegas Aces on the road. At home. Playing the Indiana Fever, who are on the road. They're laying 8 in Game 5 with WNBA semifinals. 158.5 is total. So now Indiana has to come in an elimination game, and they really got to find a way to slow the Aces down here because the Aces defense has been better at home, Scott.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm afraid that the Fever had their chance to zigzag the series, and I feel like they're out of it now. They won the first game. They really needed Game 3 at home. Because I think after this loss coming back home for the Aces, I think they're going to be mad. I think they're going to be angry. And rebounding aside, because the rebounding has been atrocious for the Aces, and they just cannot get over them on that aspect. They still find ways to just continue to get stops, especially at home. And in that last game, what happened is that neither team could really get stops on each other. Like it just continued. The scoring just piled on. So if there's not a whole bunch of scoring in this game, and it goes back to the beginning of the series where we've got a bunch of low-scoring games, I think in Game 7, the Aces are just going to find a way and pull it out.
For the record, by the way, Game 4 rebounding 34-22 in favor of Indiana. You're looking at Asia being the only player on the entire team with at least 6 rebounds.
Yeah. They got killed. Aaliyah Boston was going, she didn't even have to score on Asia. Like, she was getting it off the rim and putting it back up. And that's what you need to do.
There was a 2-minute period where I was on brief Aaliyah Boston triple-double watch. There's a brief 2-minute period there. And I'm like, is she about to go crazy? Because at one point, I believe she had 5 and 4. With double-digit points. And I'm like, is she going to potentially have a triple-double here? But, of course, the assist cooled down. But props to Aaliyah. I called her out. She was great. They needed her to be, and we'll see if she can do it again. That's also why, as a head coach, you call it the officiating. Because you get games like that where you finally get calls to go your way. And now, of course, Becky's doing the same thing on the other end because she's trying to get calls back in her team's favor. It's gamesmanship. That's why coaches always talk about
it feels like that They appreciated the criticisms that Steph had over Becky.
Yeah.
Again, very interesting that ref crew was the same ref crew that ref that last game. Very interesting.
Well, the counter argument is I think we all know the whistle that Asia does get.
Yeah.
Some of them were fouls in the previous games, and I understand that you want to try to protect your players, but Asia does get a friendlier whistle than most of the league. So if you want to go based, I think so. I didn't say that they're just handing her calls. She's not flopping around.
But there's a lot of times where they're not through this series. There's a lot of times Aaliyah Boston has thrown elbows and they have called nothing. So
still,
I think they just prefer the league to be physical. Like that's just really what it is.
I think so. The point is that there's a reputation at least that Asia does get a friendlier whistle than other people. So the fact is, it was addressed as a coach should bring up to try to get a little bit of favoritism from the refs in future games. And they did in game 4. So Steph White did what she had to do, got the officiating to help them out for a game. Good for them. We'll see if it happens again in game 5. I doubt it in Vegas, not going to lie. But either way, we are one game away from a really, really hilarious finals run. And we'll go from there. Like a generationally funny in terms of actual discourse.
Oh yeah, to make the finals to make the finals with Golden Child on the bench is
that's hilarious.
And then you have to win it all next year.
Pretty much.
Like you'd have to win it all next year, or the discourse really starts. What you can't do is and honestly, truly, this should probably go into handicap too, because what they can't do next year is any worse than this year.
No.
Like you can't.
And we talked about this a couple episodes ago. If the Fever end up, let's say, even losing this game, and then they struggle next year.
Oh, you can't. I'm
not hearing a word about the supporting cast. I don't want to hear anything.
You can't do anything less than what you're doing right now.
No. Next year, we cannot blame the Fever supporting cast when Caitlin comes back if this team struggles. Because they're one game away from the finals.
No way.
I can't. We have to agree on that now. You can't roast the supporting cast when this team without Caitlin is one game away from the finals.
And it's not like they're using the bench. So whatever 2 players they lose, they probably don't even care.
Yeah, probably not.
Although I do expect
they also have a bunch of injuries, though. So you might see maybe Coulson or somebody end up leaving. But we'll see.
Yeah. But, like, they figured that out.
Yeah, you can figure it out.
I mean, of course, Odyssey's not going to be there because what do? You only bring Odyssey in for a couple of months and then you let her go somewhere else.
Yeah, but the same thing with Aerie. Aerie should be back.
Yeah, they're gonna. No, I don't think she's gonna be back. I think they're gonna do the same thing and just let her.
You think they'll let Odyssey and Aerie walk? I mean, that's an off-season question.
That's what they do. That's what they do. Like
I think they'll bring at least one of them back, but we'll see.
Aerie did not start the year on a team.
Yeah, I know.
It's crazy.
Still stupid, but yeah.
All right, back to the game. Yeah, I think the Aces are gonna roll.
Go.
I think one fun fact: Becky Hammond and the Aces have never been in this situation. All this time, they've handled business. They've never gotten to a game 5. This is the first game 5 for Becky Hammond and company. There was a game 5 prior to, and it was probably the reason the other coach got fired.
Was that not fired? Was that Lambier?
Yeah, but moved on. And okay. I wouldn't say fired. I'd say fired, but other people.
Didn't he go to the Liberty or before?
I think they were before.
Okay.
Wasn't it retirement?
I don't remember. I just remember Lambier was the coach of the Aces before Becky got there.
Where is Bill Lambier now? Let's figure that out. All right.
So you think it's a blowout? You think it's just an anticlimactic, classic, just Aces dominated home game? Because,
I mean, what happens in the big elimination game? I mean, if we make the parallels, the NBA elimination games have not been the high stakes game 7s have not been all they've been cracked out to be.
I've tweeted about it. I forgot the exact number, but the majority of them were double digit wins.
Yeah, and I ultimately think that they just got the very, very timely shot making that they needed at home. But when they go on the road here, Becky Hammond's got the adjustments. This defense is going to be flying. They're going to be really active. Hopefully they decide and they realize that Dana Evans is the biggest counter to Odyssey Sims and just throw her out there. She's going to challenge Odyssey offensively and make her guard. And she's also going to guard Odyssey and not allow her to give you that extra work that she was given last game where she had some 17 points. I just think that the defensive adjustments from game 4, because both teams did not look good defensively, if you ask me. No. The defensive adjustments are a lot better on the Aces side of the ball. And if you look at the past few games, the Fever haven't been able to slow the Aces down at all. They just caught up in the scoring. But it wasn't like they were able to slow them down 83 points, 84 points, 90 points. Like, you have to go back to that game 1 game where they held them 7-3, where they had a real good defensive game. But everything else, like, you're allowing, north of 80 points in an elimination game. I'm just going to assume that you're going to lose. Like, that's a lot of points in this situation here, a game that you need to be more defensive because the other team's coming with it. I just don't know if they're going to be able to tap into that mode. So I'm going Aces, and I'm laying a number.
Yeah, I think the Aces are going to win. I mentioned the officiating. To go into detail, by the way, the Fever ended up outshooting the Aces 34-11 in free throw attempts. They had 3 times the free throws. So that's why you complain about officiating. Because you get one of those games.
Yep.
Take that for data. But the point is, I think you're looking at a spot where the Aces, I think, are going to win this home game. The only question is 7.5 too big? Because even against the Storm, in a game that they won, I know the Storm, you could argue historically have matched up against this team pretty well, etc. They still went down to the wire. The Aces have not been great at maintaining big leads in the postseason. You could argue that 7.5 is right around the range where maybe a backdoor covers a threat. This turns out to be a 5-point game with a minute or 2 to go, and the Aces win by like 5. That's a possibility too. So I do think the Aces are going to win. I'm not picking the insane Cinderella road game 5 win. I'm not picking that for the Fever. But I think my favorite play in this game is still going to be the over. Because you can argue that in a game 7 you might see better defense, and I can understand the angle behind that, but I'm not sure the Fever are actually capable of guarding this team. And we've seen every game in the series besides, every game in the series, the A's have scored at least 83 points in each of the last 3 games. Game 1, they came out flat. They got buried. That happens. But game 2, 90. Game 3, 84. Game 4 in a loss, 83. I just don't know if you can, as you said before, win this type of game in a hostile environment if you're going to hand out 83. Mm-hmm. And the Aces got 83 with only 11 free throws, and Asia had 6. I think the Aces will get to the line more in this game. I think you could argue Indiana might push the pace again. It worked out for them in game 4. I'll go with the over in this game, especially if it ends up being a bit of a close game late. You might see a bunch of free throw shooting for the last minute or 2, which did happen in game 4. So a bunch of free throws for the last minute or 2. I'll go with the over in this game as my quote-unquote favorite play. But if I'm picking the Aces to win, then I guess I'm picking them to cover. I don't really want to thread the needle. I think you're right. The question is, if the Fever go down early, do they let go of the rope? And I think they might. So I'll go with the Aces in this one. I'll say they win by 10, but I like the over in this game.
All right. Yeah, I think I have Aces by 10 too. I'm going under.
Okay. I mean, game 5 elimination game, I get it, but
more play on the Indiana team total under.
Okay.
If we're being honest, it's not really not really too much on the Aces, and that's probably why I wouldn't play the full game, but definitely more of Indiana team total under. I just don't think they're going to be able to score here. I think this is one of those games where they go under the team total. The two games that the Aces won, 72 points and 68 points. Team total sitting there at 75.5. I'm banking on the Aces winning, even if they don't cover. I think they're going to win, and so give me the Indiana team total under.
My concern is, since we talk about the offense all the time and how you're going to have to keep pace with the Aces, there was also a stretch in game 3 where the Fever didn't hit a shot for 9 minutes. Or for like 7 minutes. So the question is, if the Fever have one quarter where they score 12 points, is the game just over at that point? And it might be, which is not something you really want to think about, but you have to, because if the Fever have a dry spell for 7 minutes again, the game might just be over, which is concerning. So there you go. I said Aces by 10, so technically that does cover my Aces 1-10 angle. If you wanted to go for that, it does cover you in case the game is close, and you get a little bit of coverage if the Aces cover, but don't win by a ton. You actually do get a little bit of coverage on 8, 9, and 10. I don't mind Aces 1-10 in this game.
All right. Let's see here. Player props.
Okay.
Well, somebody said it. Who was it? Somebody said it. The first comment that came into the chat. Boy, Lexi Hall was trash.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not surprised.
They won it anyway. So you know what? You give her a pass.
I'm still on the under on the road here. I was always taking her unders on the road. So under Lexi Hall, 8.5 points. It would have been nice if she had a solid little game at home again, and then we get the full-on road fade. But come on, this is what happens when Lexi Hall doesn't have the confidence, and things just start bouncing off the rim. She probably doesn't even take as much shot attempts as she did. She was like 2 for 12 that last game. She doesn't take that many shot attempts this go around. And in some shops, this is 9.5. So just go ahead, take the under on her again. I will also, let's just go ahead. Another autoplay. Let's just throw Asia points back in there. Game 5? Absolutely playing her points.
What'd you have in the last elimination game? 38?
Yeah, something like that. Just a casual.
Casual 38.
Yeah, casual. So we'll do that. Because that's what happened with my lock last week, Scott. I said it. Wow, I want to bet the aces, but I remember whenever I want to bet the aces, just bet Asia Wilson instead. Always goes well. Okay. What you got?
Yeah, I'm going to go back to point guard. I said last episode it worked out. I like Chelsea Gray assists at 5.5, minus 132 on the over, and she had 9 last game. She had at least 6 in each of the last 3 games, at least 6 in 7 of the last 8 overall. She plays a bunch of minutes. You're mentioning Asia scoring a bunch of points. Either way, that goes well with point guard. So give me, once again, Chelsea Gray over the 5.5 assists at minus 132.
If I had to do a Indiana starting lineup on points props, it would go Kelsey Mitchell over, Lexi Hall under, Odyssey Sims under, Aaliyah Boston under. She gets close, Scott. She gets 10 points, but she doesn't get enough to cash points prop. And then Natasha Howard over. That's how I would do it. That's not going to equate into them getting over the team total. Where's Jackie as well? Jackie Young back at home. I do like Jackie Young to score. I really don't trust anybody, any other scoring outside of the Aces offense right now other than Jackie Young and Asia right now, believe it or not. But she had another really solid game, 18 points in that last game timeout, 25 and 18 in Indiana. Been over in 3 of the 4 in this series. Really good to the numbers. 7 of her last 10 she's been over, 16.5 points. It's just too low for Jackie Young, who they're really, really, really going to need Lexi Hall to really wake up defensively and try to slow her down. I don't think that they can. Even if
keyword is try. So.
Yeah, I just don't think they can. And if the threes are hitting for her, she's going to put up a heavy points total. I'm over Jackie Young going over 16.5 points.
I'll go back to the player we've been talking about all series. I'll take Odyssey Sims. 9.5 points? Really? 9.5? That's pretty low. I'll go with the over there, minus 110.
I think just an under game for Odyssey.
It could be, but she's had at least 16 points in 4 of the last 5. Conceptually, this number is just way too low.
Yeah, but they got to make an adjustment. If Odyssey gets to that points total again, I'm going to be very concerned about the spread. They need the adjustment and of just putting Dana on Odyssey. Dana they hate each other. Let Dana get that light work. I don't know why we're not giving Dana Evans a little bit more minutes because she's playing really, really well. And also, I'm shocked that she doesn't have props available because I feel like in the Liberty series, we had a bunch of props available. You had Maureen Johannes. You had Emma Meeseman. You had a whole bunch going on. Not as much going on in this series. Where is Dana Evans at? Dana Evans should have props. This is ridiculous. Yeah, I'm on Team Dana, not Team Odyssey this game.
Do you have any thoughts for some of the, I don't use the term role players, but ancillary pieces, whether it involves Flash, if you want to go for anybody on...
I do like Flash rebounds over 5.5.
Okay.
That's the
best bet. Crash the damn glass, hope for the best.
Yeah, they've been killing them on the glass. Maybe it's just Flash turn to have a really good rebounding game.
That's where I'll give Lexi props, though. She was terrible last game. At least she had 7 rebounds.
I think she had 10 the game before that.
Yeah. She's been working her ass off on the boards. I respect it. You got to contribute somehow. But I don't see Aaliyah Boston having 14 again. Maybe she does, but if she has a less than 14, that opens the door for other rebounding opportunities. So,
yeah, I'm not in the fading Jewel mood. I do like Aaliyah Boston's assist. That did cash last game.
Yeah, she had 5.
So shout out to Andre talking about that. I do like that.
Do we think Kelsey goes down swinging, or do we think that?
Oh yeah, yeah. I told you my starting lineup. If you ask me for the Indiana starting lineup on points, I think that it's going to end up with Kelsey and Natasha Howard going over, and then Aaliyah Boston, Lexi Hall, Odyssey Sims going under.
All right. Works for me.
It feels like if anything else happens, I'm not getting the under on the team total. So that's what I'm predicting.
All
right. Wow, I think that's it. Lock, dog. And we'll do an underdog lineup right now because Underdog Fantasy, you can get over there and pick your favorite players' fantasy stats and win up to 500 times your entry. So make sure you get over there to Underdog. Let's see what we can build in an Underdog Fantasy lineup real quick, Scott. Well, Asian elimination game. I just can't get away from it.
Okay.
Higher 25.5.
I still like point guard assists.
Point guard assists, a higher 5.5 assists. And come on, man. Lexi Hall on the road. Is she really going to go into Vegas and have another big game? She's been under this 77% of the time this season, Scott.
We do enjoy having at least one low.
And it's at 9.5 over here.
Yeah, we can do that. That's fine.
So that means people are looking at the higher 9.5. Wow. Interesting. All right, a little bit smaller, but I feel really good about this lineup. Lexi Hall lower, 9.5 points. Chelsea Gray higher, 5.5 assists, and Asia Wilson higher, 25.5 points. 5.75x, $100 gets you $575 over there at Underdog Fantasy. Make sure you use that promo code NBA SGPN. All right, we're also brought to you by a Rhythm. Make sure you lock in and tap into the Rhythm Labs. Go over there. You can win up to $1,000 each week. All you got to do is track 5 bets of the same type from any model you build, and you could win that money. Shout out to the leaderboards, those cash prizes like I was talking about. And plus, if you use promo code SGPN25 when you download the Rhythm app you can get 25% off your first month. So SGPN25 for 25% off your first month of Rhythm. RITHMM. Lock, dog. Lock. Running back over Asia Wilson over 25.5. Dog is, I'm going to fade the role players. No, I'm not. I don't want to do that. I don't want to get cute. Just give me Kelsey Mitchell. Let's see.
Put you on 25? Because their numbers are 21.5. So if you want an alt, you're looking at 25. I respect it, though, just taking the 2 best players to just start swinging in Game 5.
Yeah, I was going to go for the 3s, but the 3s didn't feel as good. I'll go for the points. Maybe she gets to the foul line a bunch. Maybe there's a bunch of foul calls on both sides.
I see Novig as plus 198.
I'll do 25. Yeah, it's about plus 190, plus 186. Like,
we're sponsored by Novig, so we can just use Novig.
Yeah, Novig.
It's 198.
190. Wow. This is what I tell you. Novig gives you some great prices on the market. SGPN. So let me go to Novig. And I'll place it on Novig. Yeah. Give me Kelsey Mitchell. Both of them have a heavyweight fight. And honestly, I don't think anybody else outside of Kelsey Mitchell is going to be doing a lot of scoring in this game. So, lock, Asia, dog, Kelsey. Easy.
All right. For my lock, I'm going to go back to point guard assists at 5.5. I've been taking it the last couple games. It has worked out. And I think this line is too cheap at minus 132. Said it again, or said it before, I'll say it again. She's had at least 6 assists in 7 of the last 8, at least 6 assists in 3 straight. She's had at least 9 assists in 2 of the last 3 games. So she's doing point guard things, bunch of assists. I think the 5.5 is too short, and especially at home with a fever defense that can't guard this team. Give me a Gray to go over her assists at minus 132. For the dog is technically under the threshold, but barely. I'm going to take Odyssey Sims over 9.5 points, parlayed with the Aces money line. So reverse correlation there. Okay. Plus 139.
All right. I'll take it. We'll accept it. Wow. That's it. Scott, anything else for people before we get up out of here?
No. No matter who wins this game, we'll be back for the finals, of course, in a couple days. But should be fun. Looking forward to a Game 5. You got some postseason baseball on tonight. Got an elimination basketball game on tonight. Good times.
I think I'm starting to get to the point where I want Alyssa Thomas to win a ring again.
I mean, it's fair.
I think I'm getting to that point. Maybe. We'll see.
Well, they're not giving her MVP trophies, so she might as well get another trophy. Some would argue the finals MVP trophy is a bit sweeter than the regular season MVP trophy.
I wonder what that price is. I wonder what that price would be, knowing that you're going up against Asia. It's probably a little decent of a price.
Probably. You can make the argument. It's a bit different with the Fever because, in theory, the fact that they're here is so shocking. You can see a couple of people getting the award. Mercury Aces, I think you basically have two people who can win the award. You could argue it's the WNBA Finals. You see Jackie, who maybe can get it. We've seen stranger things.
I was about to say, Kalia Copper has one under her belt already.
I know. But if we're talking about AT, I think AT would be the
and Chelsea Gray, too.
On that team. Yeah, they see more options than
I've actually convinced I've convinced myself that I will have a bet on Jackie Young to win Finals MVP.
I think AT is the only person on the Mercury who I think would actually win the award.
Wow.
I think so. Because everything she does is so all-encompassing. The rebounds, the assists, she can score. I just think AT would get it. But we can talk about that when we actually get to the finals, but that's kind of how I'm treating that. But we'll see what happens. Either way, we know the Mercury are there. I'm sure they'll be watching.
All right. Chat's been rolling. Chat's been everywhere.
It's a big game, too, by the way. If the Fever actually win, the Mercury get home court. So, game does matter a lot for them.
Mighty Mercury.
Jonas Brothers are going to be pissed.
Mercury. Yeah, Jonas Brothers got their ass whooped by the Fever.
Yeah.
I mean, not the Fever, the Mercury. They got their ass whooped by the Mercury.
They would probably get their asses whooped by the Fever, too, to be clear. But that's a separate point. What are they again? 5'6"?
Oh, yeah, dude. Like 5. Dog. I did not know the Jonas Brothers were that short. I gotta stop assuming everybody is at least 6 feet.
I got to 5'11". That's where I topped out.
All right. Oh. He's at Reichel Radio. I'm at ___. Make sure you give us a follow on X at SGPN NBA. Season's coming back around. YouTube.com/NBA Gambling Podcast. Find this show, NBA show, all going on over there. And 5-star rating review wherever you get your podcast for the WNBA podcast. Fever and Chip should think about it. I'd be shocked. I'm not gonna lie. I would. Very much would be. With that, nothing else to say, nothing else to do. No other way of ending the podcast. Just going to like this. We are out of here. We are still sweating in Aces championship future, by the way.